Hi everyone. Hello. It's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life. Thank you for joining me, those of you who are joining me live. Thank you for popping your emails in the chat for those of you that can't make this live but wanted to get the replay. This is my Monday Lunch and Learn, and I was going to do this one. This one was scheduled all about your ideal client, blah, 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 and we'll do that another time because today I wanted to talk about what's going on right now. There's a lot of, hey Lauren, hey Cal. There's a lot of fear and worry, obviously, and anxiety around what's happening right now. And I feel that myself. Obviously, we're all in this and seeing the news and living it every day. And every day it seems to be getting worse. So, and you may know people that have fallen ill, or you're worried about your families or whatever. And the other thing that you might be worried about is the impact on your business, because, you know, this is really going to affect a lot of small businesses and self-employed people. There's no getting away from that. And I've heard a lot of negative stuff around that, how people are going to survive. You know, people are going to be laid off, and they're not going to be able to we're not going to be able to afford things, not going to want to spend money on stuff. But I want you, this session is all around how can we adapt and be a little bit creative about what we offer, because what we offer is going to be incredibly valuable right now. So I want you to focus on the positives, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and how we can serve people with what they need right now. Yes, some people will be contracting. So, you know, there will be fear setting in about their own situations, and they won't want to spend any money. Others, however, and I really firmly believe this, and I'm very optimistic about this, will be actively looking for solutions, looking to improve their health even more than before, and looking after themselves and their own families, etc. These are the people we can reach at this time, right? I read, I was on Facebook this morning, and in one of my business groups, I don't know if you know Veronica Pullen, she's a friend of mine. She's an amazing Facebook marketer type person. She's been into the membership, actually the NTBA membership, and she's come to talk to us about Facebook. Incredible woman. And she put up this morning this quote that I wanted to read because I just felt it was just so incredibly apt for what we're going right now. So she wrote this morning, "I strongly believe this is our time to rise and lead. It's about for this thing is presenting us with an opportunity to care and to serve more. And all we've got to do is to protect our state, be very careful who we listen to, and surround ourselves with people who lift us and lift our mood." I thought that was beautifully written and really, really encompasses what I'm feeling right now, and that yes, you know, we need to work together and help each other to get through this, and focus on helping our community more than we would do normally. So I've got some thoughts that I wanted to share with you today around how you can adapt and prepare your business for this. It's not going to get better anytime in the short run. So, you know, we can adapt, we can prepare, and we can focus on serving more people than we ever have done or wanted to, right? Okay, so first off, I'm going to say, if you're in this business as an NT, you will have some form of vision. Whether you've formalized it or written it down, you will have some kind of vision or passion that you're working from, that keeps you motivated, that keeps you getting out of bed in the morning. You know, mine is all about women's health and getting older and having that feeling better than they did women to feel better than they did when they were younger. That's my vision. Our vision at Happy Hormones, and we work to that, and that motivates us and gets me out of bed and makes me do all the work that I do. If you've got a vision, whatever that is, and you will have one, even if it's not verbalized or written down, keep that vision on your horizon, because that vision isn't going away because of this crisis. It's so important to keep that vision, hold it, and, you know, yes, this time is a little bit scary, but it will pass. So just hold on to that vision. You keep that in the back of your mind because it's so important. Next, we want to get nimble, get creative, be adaptable and flexible. What does your community need right now? What would serve them? What are they looking for? What are they asking for? Just a complete example of that is that I normally do webinars on hormones, menopause. That's pretty much it. But this week I asked a colleague of mine, and I said, what should I do? I've had to cancel my April event, and I guess I should switch it to go online because I can do that. I can do a webinar around hormones, etc. And she goes, why don't you just do something on immune support? That's what people are looking for right now. That's what they want to hear. They want to be able to have the tools that will help them and their families. So literally from that piece of advice, I've created a webinar for Thursday night all about immune support. So be adaptable. You may have, I talked about planning in December and January, and some of your plans may have gone out the window because you may have been doing events or workshops or talks. And those things can be adapted. So don't be afraid to change things. Don't be afraid to mix it up, throw it out the window, do whatever you feel is right to do right now to serve more people, right? Get proactive is the next thing. So obviously health is incredibly important right now. There's never been a better time to help people get more healthy right now. And they need good quality, reliable advice, which we know we have in abundance. So that is what I would say to you, to get proactive, get visible, and get online if you're not already. So in the foundation course that I teach, it's all about getting online because that's the way you reach more people. And when you reach more people, you get more clients, you earn more money, and you work less. So as in work less, well, we teach you how to do that as well, but more clients, longer packages, that kind of stuff. If you're not working online yet, there is no doubt about it, you won't have a business unless you get online. So when I say get online, I mean offer online consultations, use the testing kits that are available everywhere. So you get tests sent to people's homes, and then you have your consultations online. Now I know banks say, have your first one face to face. Well, that's, not only is that really old fashioned, and I think they're changing that anyway, because we have been online for 5 years, and we don't see people anywhere face to face, and we have done really, really well from that. There's literally been 1 or 2 clients that have said to me, do you know what, I'd rather go see someone face to face, out of the hundreds, nearly thousands of clients that we've seen. So it's not an issue. Most people love it because they don't have to go anywhere, they don't have to leave their houses. We can all sit here in our PJs and tracky bottoms and it's all good. So online is the way to go. And if you haven't done it, switched, then do it. When I mean online, seeing people like this is Facebook Live, but we use Zoom for pretty much everything. Zoom is going to be your new best friend if you're not on it now. Most of you have probably used it before, but you may not be using it regularly to see people or use it to share your content. So you can get on Zoom, you can get, you can get an account, you can get a free account, or you can pay for the pro account. I'll talk about that in a second. But you can use Zoom not only to see clients one-to-one like this, or you can use it to deliver your content, because you can share your screen really easily. It's just click share, and you can just go into your PowerPoint and talk over it, and there's a little, you appear as a little square at the top. You've probably done stuff like that before for other people. It automatically, you can set it to automatically record, or you can click manually record. So then you've got your sessions with your one-to-one sessions recorded, so you can just send those to the clients. So that keeps down your admin. Obviously you might want to send them a little report as well, but keep that to a minimum. If they've got the recording, that's amazing. It's really easy for your clients because all you do is send them a link, they click on the link, and then they're in. Okay, there may be some little bit of techie stuff if they've not used it before, but literally they just download it. It's really, really easy. If you've used it before, you'll know how easy it is. So with Zoom, you can have a free account that's unlimited one-to-one time. So if you just do one-to-ones and want to use it for that, you can use it for free. You also get, with the free account, you get up to 100 attendees in a meeting. Now, a meeting is not the same as a webinar, but it's very, very similar. It means that the people appear. So if you wanted to do like a workshop, if you like workshops or presentations or talks, you can get online and do that as a meeting for free, and that's up to 100 people. So it does restrict you to 40 minutes though, so you can only go to 40 minutes with a meeting. You can get a pro account, which is the one I've had for a while. It's $11.99 a month, and that allows you, there's no time limits on it. It allows you to record, and it's, yeah, there's no time limit. So basically, when I'm running a webinar, I don't want to be restricted to 40 minutes. So, you know, things like that, or a meeting or whatever. And then if you want to do webinars, it is a little bit more expensive. It's £32 a month if you want to do webinars. Now, the difference with webinars is that you obviously get people to register, so you've got their email addresses, so you can send them the replay afterwards. I think you can do that with meetings as well, actually, so that's okay. The difference with a webinar is you don't get all the little squares on the screen, so nobody can see each other, so everybody's kind of anonymous in a webinar. So if you've got, you know, if you want to run a webinar and you don't really know who the people are, then that's probably the best way to do it. If you want to run a meeting, you kind of just need to say, you know, you can switch your video off, but you will have a little square on the actual screen. Not much difference really. So if you want to save yourself 32 quid, you might want to run a few meetings and just let people know that they will be there, but they can turn their videos off. Next thing, so Zoom, once you've got Zoom, that's great. You can deliver your stuff. And, you know, Catherine's asking, can you share slides with $11.99? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can share your screen with the $11.99 option. Not a problem. So my big message is this time is to keep marketing. Now, your potential clients may be spending a bit more time at home, not just yet maybe, but in the future. They may have more time on their hands. They may have less if they've got kids at home as well. But, you know, this is where you need to be visible. So people are on social media. They are getting worried. They are getting anxious. I want us to be the people that fill social media with positive and helpful content. You are going to allay people's fears. You're going to give them really practical stuff that will help them support their immune systems. And you're going to be more, you know, give them some inspiration and hope that the end of the world isn't nigh. Because, you know, we know, you know, that all the information coming through is wash your hands, avoid people, all of that stuff. And, you know, that's great for protection. What happens when you know, do get it, or you want to boost yourself from the inside? And that's where we can come in. Nobody's talking about that. Yes, our industry is talking about it. We're getting loads of emails, but the general public are not hearing about this stuff. So we need to be out there giving them really good, solid, reliable, accurate information, and not leaving it up to them. Well, if first of all, they may not know there's a way to boost their immune systems naturally. And if they do know, they're going to go onto Google and goodness knows where they're going to end up. So it's our responsibility to get out there and show them, you know, what we do, the value in what we do, and how we can serve them. Now, obviously, you don't want to be recommending supplements if, you know, to you know, individuals, because you've got to put your disclaimers on there and all of that. But you can recommend certain nutrients, and that's what most of the emails I've seen is, you know, make sure you're taking your vitamin C, blah, 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 and then a little disclaimer at the bottom, check if you're on any medication. That's perfectly safe to do that. You don't need to, you're not putting any dosages on there. You're not saying, you know, you must take this, whatever. It's just ideas for them to explore. And it's obviously up to them whether they do that or not. So when I also online, I mentioned webinars. They're a really good way of getting people in a room listening to your content. A webinar is just exactly like a live talk, except you can't see the people there and they just register for you and they may not turn up. Okay, so when you're doing a webinar, you need to, so if you've arranged a webinar, and Zoom do very simple webinars, it's easy to arrange. You get a link and then you market that link to everybody you possibly can. If you're going to do a webinar, and I strongly recommend you do a webinar at some point, you need to get a lot of registrations, because generally around 20 to 30% of people actually turn up live. That's fine, actually, because if they've registered, you can then send them the replay. So you're still getting to them, But, you know, the more people that register, the better. So what you need to do for that is, if you haven't got a very large following or a big list, email list, then you need to get creative and go and ask your business, your colleagues, your friends, your family to go and share the links on their networks. Because the more people that link reaches, obviously the more registrations you're going to get and the more people turn up live, and then you're reaching more people, right? In this environment, I would imagine, you know, I'm doing a immune webinar on Thursday. I imagine that's going to be quite heavily popular at this stage, because people are looking for this kind of advice. So I would get on a webinar, and I've not got any slides yet. I've got to create it because that's not my normal thing. I've done hundreds of webinars on hormones, but I've not done one yet on immune system. So I've got to kind of rack my brain and make up a presentation. But I think it's worth it, and if we can adapt like that, then you know, you're going to be giving the people what they want. Video as well. So if you don't want to do a webinar, then get on some video, get some free content out there on video. Talk about what's going on at the moment. Talk about how people can help themselves. You know, if you're in a niche as well, you know, obviously immune systems relate to gut health, to hormones, to brain health, to everything, right? So we can talk about, we can get our niches in. We can talk about clients that we've helped. We can do a lot of practical stuff as well. So I think also we want to be giving people like online resources, because if they're stuck at home, they may not be able to go to their gym or yoga class, then, you know, have a look for some online yoga resources or exercise stuff, meditation resources, apps, shopping resources for healthy stuff, recipe sites, all that kind of stuff that we can help them. Because, you know, a lot of people don't have access to the kind of resources that we kind of take for granted. We take all these things for granted, but it's not public knowledge. Okay, some healthy people out there will know about Deliciously Ella or whoever, but, you know, they're not. It's not going to be everybody. So don't assume that people know all that stuff, because often they don't. So you can help them with that. If people are at home more, they may want to be looking at what they're eating in terms of, you know, new recipes. You might want to do some online cooking demos. Really easy. Just set your phone up on a little tripod-y thing on the table and talk to it like you would do a live workshop or live demo, and record it, and then put it on YouTube, put it on your social media channels, give them something really, you know, interesting. People love to watch you make food. Just don't make it really long and boring. Make it quite quick. The other thing I would be focusing on is this, like I said, the stuff that people are not being given, the information they're not being given on. So like the impact of stress, foods to eat and avoid. I've not seen anything other than in the nutrition community from our people about advice on what people should be eating or supplementing. You could create an immune boosting recipe or a smoothie that someone can actually just take and make at home. Look after, right, I'm gonna, hang on, what else have I got here? Right, just an admin thing. So if you've got clients and you're working with people, just make sure you're getting paid up front. I know I bang on about this and it's kind of obvious, but I see people still not doing it. Please make sure you get payment up front before you even open that conversation. Or, you know, you can have a conversation, but before you start working with someone, and absolutely before you start ordering tests, make sure you've got the money in the bank before you do anything with anyone, because this is not the time to be chasing people for money or having any risks of not being paid. This is just not the time for that. Well, there's never a time for that, but particularly at this time, right? Look after your existing or past clients. Remind them why they are working with you or why they worked with you. Ask if they'd like more support, because they already know and like and trust you, and hopefully you did a good job for them. Send them a handwritten note saying, you know, is everything okay? Can I help? What do you need? That kind of stuff. And I would absolutely, at this time, use your communities and your networks. Everyone wants to pull together over this. This is a real community crisis. Tell everybody you know that you work online, because some people will imagine or assume that you just work in a clinic or you just see people face to face. You have to get out there and tell people now that you're online, you're ready to help, and, you know, people can see you from home. Okay, Ask your clients for referrals. Ask your friends and family to share your posts, your blogs, your stuff. Ask your fellow MTs for support. So if you niche in one area and someone else niches in another area, you want to be referring between you, because that's the way you grow and help each other. And let's all support each other. It's so important at this time that we do that, because support networks are absolutely key. What else? Right. Oh, I had an idea. So I have done a couple of client interviews recently, and they've gone down really, really well. One's on my podcast, actually. Marion Davis was a client of ours, and she agreed to be interviewed. And we did a Zoom interview, and we recorded it, and I chopped it up a little bit, and I put it on the podcast. I've put it on YouTube. I've put it on a couple of things, and it's got some really good views and listens. And that's because people really love to hear how people have got on, and it's a story. People love stories. They love those before and afters. So if you've got a couple of clients or a few clients that you've done a good job with, get them on Zoom to interview them. Ask them, why they came to you in the first place. What problems did they have? Ask them how, what kind of things you did together, and ask them what their life is like afterwards. What results did they get, and how did it impact their lives? So if you go from A to Z in that order, then you're going to get a really good story before and after. It's the biggest sales point or marketing for your services. If someone else is saying how good you were and the results that they got, and that it was well worth the investment, then there's nothing better than that. There's no better way you can market yourself. All right, so do some interviews. We may have a little bit more time if you've got some time on your hands and you're staying at home yourself, or you've got some cancellations. Then do this stuff. It's really important. What else? Oh, do the things you've been putting off. So who hasn't done their content plan this year? Who has not written some video scripts or some blogs, or has an ebook that they've been wanting to write forever, or that book that you've always wanted to write? This is the time. Maybe it's the time that you've got now. You've got a little bit of time. If you haven't got that many clients, just pull back and start writing. Get your content all kind of ready for when it hits again. I'm not expecting you not to have clients, because I think, like I said, if you do all these things and you move online and you keep going with your marketing and you get more visible and you want to serve more people, then you should have plenty of clients. But if you are quiet, use this time to write your content, get your stuff, get all that stuff that you haven't done for ages. I would absolutely say that self-care is your number one priority. So despite all the things I've mentioned, don't go crazy, because I want you to stay expanded rather than contracted. So that means staying positive and open and optimistic. Everyone around you is worrying enough, and we know that anxiety and stress suppresses your immune system. So stress management has never been more important. So we've got to make sure that we're doing that for ourselves, so that we can actually get out there and be of service to other people and look after our own family, friends, and whatever. So more family time. It may be possible that if the school's shut, you're going to have some kiddies at home, which can be disruptive. I'm not saying it's not, but you may also have more family time, more me time, more experimenting, maybe with new recipes, with new things that you want to try. And also, it's also a good time to not stop anything you're doing in terms of personal development, or business coaching or training. Get those skills under your belt as well. If you do have a bit of time, don't stop any of that, and don't stop investing in that kind of stuff either, because this all will pass. And if you're using the time proactively and positively and getting more skills, then you'll kind of come out stronger. And my last note is to remember to be grateful. Hard, I know, but there is so much positive in our lives. The sun is out today. I can see blue sky. You're okay, hopefully. You've got a roof over your head. You've got food on your plates. And be really grateful that you have the knowledge to be able to protect yourself, support your immune system, and your family, and your friends, and also have this incredible knowledge to help other people. So I hope that's been really helpful. I'm just going to pop through one more question from Jane. Do you apply the same principle of being paid up front with businesses? A lot of businesses I work with will only pay after and can take a long time to. Jade, yeah, you know, with corporate, it's tricky. Obviously, they very rarely pay you up front. I usually ask for 50% deposit at least 2 weeks before, and they often agree to that. But you know, yeah, generally, but very, very, very rarely will corporates not pay you. So it's kind of like, yes, they're slow payers and they won't necessarily pay you up front, but they're not going to run off, hopefully, with having you having done the work. So they're a little bit of a different scenario. I'm talking about clients, personal clients, really. It is really frustrating. Yes, I agree. But you know, I think the other thing with corporates, if you do corporate work and you're doing talks, and they're cancelling on you, which is going to be, you know, quite common in the next few months, I'd imagine. I've had a few cancelled already. Then I've gone in and offered them webinars instead, and often they'll bite your hand off because they want to deliver the content, but they don't want to risk their employees. And if people are at home, webinars are an amazing way to get the same information out, and most of them will pay the same rate for that, or slightly less, but you know, go in for the same rate. So I hope that's been helpful, and I'm sending lots of positive vibes to all of you, and we just, you know, as long as we're supporting each other, we will get through this and we will adapt and thrive, hopefully, and be able to support more people, because I really truly believe that that's what we're here for, especially in these hard times. So wishing you all very well, and stay safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.